So you have probably seen a lot of bad reviews about Kraven the Hunter, and I am here to change your mind just a little bit. This movie did not deserve to flop. It doesn't even deserve all the flack it's getting. I saw the movie and I thought, that's not that bad. And then I went online and saw a couple of reviews and people were ripping this thing to shreds. And I just couldn't see why. I mean, there are some major YouTubers who review movies who are absolutely pretentious fucks who ruined this movie and shouldn't have. It's not a movie that is supposed to be the best thing that ever happened since cinema. It's there to entertain. It's a comic book movie and it delivered on comic book things. I don't know why everyone keeps expecting Oscar-worthy storylines. It's just absolutely silly. So I'm going to be reviewing this movie, not criticizing it. Now, it's not great. However, it's not as bad as the YouTube movie reviewers say it is. I think they're all just being pretentious. If you actually watch this movie, you will enjoy it. I thought it was a good enough movie, but you have to get off your high horse to enjoy it. But before I jump into all that, here is the plot. Following the death of his mother, Sergei Kravenov, and his half-brother, Dmitry, are taken by their father, Nikolai, to prepare them to take over his drug trafficking operation. During a hunting trip in Ghana, Sergei is injured protecting his brother from a lion, and the lion's blood drops into his wounds, and a girl named Calypso heals him with a serum and calls for rescue. And he surely, but gradually turns into basically Dr. Dolittle with vengeance against evildoers in the world. Okay, so the premise sounds flimsy, and kind of is. However, I want you guys to remember this. It's a comic book movie, and they will do comic book things. It's not supposed to be Oscar-worthy. I came to see a movie where a man does impossible things, and they delivered. The first scene of this movie was absolutely impressive. It was a fantastic action sequence, but it falls a bit flat with its convenience plot points about Kraven's power origins. It feels like they're making up stuff as they go, but it's still not a deal breaker for me. The CGI animals don't have a lot of volume to them. They feel kind of weightless and a little rubbery, which makes it seem cheap. And I think that has a lot to do with budgetary constraints, because sometimes, this is from experience, if you rush the crew who are doing the CGI work, they just have to do whatever they can to deliver the film. But sometimes they have to cut a few corners. And that's probably what happened here. Now, I'm not saying I was there, but this is a bigger possibility of why this film has very cheap looking CGI. But what it lacked in originality was more than made up for in cool superhero sequences that my inner teenager was very impressed with. I don't feel like Aaron Taylor Johnson was phoning it in. He put some unappreciated effort into making this character come to life. It's just the dialogue that absolutely failed him, but he carried this movie well enough. I actually came out of this movie feeling pretty good about it. I was absolutely entertained. And then I came to a realization about film critics on YouTube. The realization is that most YouTube film critics are absolute cunts. Miserable cunts. They can't watch a movie without it satisfying their every whim. They act as though just them exist in the world, and all movies should cater to their specific wants and needs in it. Whereas you can just really review a movie and say, hey, the movie's not for me, but it might be for you, just like I do with my own videos. And then I thought a little deeper, and I realized, here's the issue. Most film critics and or reviewers on YouTube right now were born somewhere in the maybe late 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s. So they know, or they knew when CGI wasn't that great, and they knew when CGI was great. And they've sort of grown with the film industry that now they've forgotten there are younger kids growing up who can watch this type of movie and enjoy it. It doesn't necessarily have to cater to you and your tastes now. Go watch something different. Don't shit on this one, because some kids are actually going to enjoy this film. If I were a kid, I would absolutely enjoy this film. It had everything I've ever wanted in an action comic book movie. You evolve and then you go watch different movies. That's just how life is. And the things you used to like, you won't like anymore. but doesn't mean those things are bad. Kraven the Hunter is rated R, and obviously you shouldn't take your kids to it. However, it's not so R you can't take your kids to it, if you know what I mean. You've watched way worse things when you were a kid. So if you're watching this video and you also review movies, I say review it across different types of people, not just from your perspective. See it from other people's point of view. That's all I'm saying. Don't be a miserable cunt. Rant over. Now, just to quickly touch on the R rating, this film is not full of excessive gore. The R rating was not used for R rating's sake, so I think I respect that angle that it went with it. It's just sometimes little things are violent, but it's not as violent as you think. People's guts are flying all over the place, so that's just something you should note. But then it felt like it had two endings, which I would consider ending fatigue, but it's not necessarily a deal breaker. This movie has a strong rewatchability. I will watch it again when it comes out on streaming and or DVD. Actually, I think it's come out on streaming right now. I'm going to go watch it again. I wish it would get a part 2, but I know it wouldn't because of, well, it flopped in cinemas because of awful YouTube reviews. Just shattered it. Part 2 would have been amazing. And now Aaron Taylor Johnson may probably never want to do action comic movies again because of you people. Well, also, it had a budget of $130 million and only brought back about $61.4 million in box office. So, yeah, the guys at head office are going to say no to that whole part 2 thing. Okay, to bring it all together, there are 2 letdowns in this movie, in my opinion, and one of them is the CGI stuff. It just looked cheap. And then the convenient plot points for Kraven's powers. Other than that, I think the rest of the movie is fine. Oh, and also, one of the villains does this thing where he counts from 1 to 2 before he does his mutant's trick, and it's kind of lame because it has no backstory, and it felt a little bit too repetitive, and just, it just gets tiring fast. Just do your fucking trick and move on. It also doesn't have any end scene credits, so that's different. I think that's something that Sony Marvel always does. And that right there is my 2 cents. I hope to see you guys in the next video where I challenge a monk to an arm wrestle.